Cam Skattebo injured badly. Will he ever be the same? You're probably not going to like my answer. James Cook, Jonathan Taylor taking over fantasy football. Judkins injured. How bad is it? We've got more to break down. Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, if you dare, and also RJ Harvey, 3 touchdowns, the hat trick. Unbelievable. We had quite a good day. A lot of injuries. That seems to be par for the course, but you know what button I'm pressing. The Fantasy Football Week 8 Recap Show begins right now. File on in.
Brown. Oh, yeah. Brown. Touchdown. You hear that sound? It's Chase Brown. Chase Brown, 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 Chase Brown.
Honey, what is that awful sound? Ma, that's Chase Brown. Ma, have you got my Hot Pocket ready yet? Where are the batteries for my Game Boy?
Chase Brown.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Well, we had a day, ladies and gentlemen. We had a day. It did have a somber feel to it as Cam Skattebo injured his ankle, fractured the thing, essentially broke it, and it twisted the wrong direction. The problem with this is there's so many ligaments and nerves and bones involved that we have no clue how bad it is, but it's probably pretty bad. I think Chris Godwin, now he's a younger guy obviously than Chris Godwin, but having arthritis, having an early onset of 100 different things. This is probably going to be a running back that has a very short career in the NFL, unfortunately. You guys know I'm going to bring the truth, and this is one of my boys. We've been hyping him up more than any channel you could find, and he absolutely has been delivering, but it's unfortunate that this situation happened the way it did, especially this type of injury. But his ankle's been severed, like it's really bad. So I don't think he's ever going to come back to form. If he does return to form for a brief amount of time, it's like a 2 or 3 year window before he starts having issues. They're gonna have, now we could know more. It's a little premature to be suggesting this. What if there was some very clean dislocation? This is my early assessment, my early guess, just to prepare you. There could be some very clean dislocation. All the ligaments are pretty much undamaged. He's such a freak of an athlete anyway. There is a chance, but if this thing is as bad as it looks, it's gonna be a devastating thing for the remainder of his career. Not that he can't come out and play by mid-season next year, but he probably won't be ready for week 1. And if he is, he escapes some unbelievable things in terms of the bones and just, dislocating just the right way, which is really hard to do. James Cook, 19 totes, 216 yards, and 2 touchdowns in his Week 8 win over the Panthers. Slumping James Cook, what do we say all week? Trade for him on the low. He had a bad game, really 2 down games essentially walking into the bye week, and then people forget. They forget he was an amazing buy low. No one's sniffing him now. He's a top 5 overall player go forward until, if he had bad games, people would be finicky and fickle. But right now, this guy's untouchable, and he absolutely crushed it in week number 8.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
And this is, admittedly, this is a guy that I did not predict to be as good as he is. In fact, I predicted his holdout to having an issue. I admit it. I take a lap on this one every day. This is probably my one huge miss. I would say this right here took some patience and some grace. Chase Brown getting back on his horse, 12 totes. He didn't even have that many carries last week either. Had 100 yards, super efficient when the offense is humming. 12 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. He also added 3 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown. Chase Brown doing it live.
Mashed potatoes.
The man is back. The stock is on the rise. People that panic like Peter are licking their wounds right now. Chase Brown, ladies and gentlemen, coming in and bringing the thunder straight away in week number 8. Get ready for more somber news. We're not too sure what this is yet. We got to hang tight on this and not jump to too many conclusions. All the Twitter doctors are at work. According to the suplex mechanism of the Cadillac converter of his internal shoulder structure, if you take away the drip valve mechanism, he probably has one of these 7 injuries. That's what all the Twitter doctors are doing. Let me handle it. We've got a shoulder injury, and it's unfortunate. This could be a broken clavicle. It could be a sprained AC joint. Let's hope it's just a sprained shoulder. It's not any sort of dislocation of the ball and socket, but we'll have to play this by ear. It definitely is not good news right now. Quinshon Judkins could miss some time at the very least. We're hoping that that's the extent of it. I hope he's not out for the year with a broken collarbone or clavicle or injury at the point where the collarbone connects to the shoulder, which is the AC joint, and that there's not too much damage there. We'll know more probably tomorrow, maybe later tonight, but Judkins injured. It's just brutal. The season has been abusive to us. Saquon Barkley, what did I say? Go trade for him. He'd explode. What did he do? The man had 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saquon bouncing back, but he got injured. But still, 174 and 2 touchdowns. Did we call it or did we call it? One of the best buy lows walking into week number 8 as people panicked that paid the price. We said don't pay the price. Trade for him later. And you hammered down a trade and did really well. Only problem is he suffered an injury. And we've got a little bit of a tally here of the major injuries today. Fannin undisclosed, Barkley groin, but didn't look severely bad on the sideline. He wasn't surrounded by trainers for, hours on end. Basically went to the tent. Then he ended up just kind of walking out, and he just sat there. And it could be a very light groin strain. And keep in mind that there's definitely opportunity for this to be okay after this week 9 bye week. So just know that's the good news. Barkley could be fine. Judkins, we'll know more about Judkins tomorrow. Skattebo probably done for, I don't want to say his career, but he's done for a while. And when he comes back, he's just not probably going to be the same. It's going to take him some time. He's young enough to where there's a chance. I just want to prepare people that if the ankle injury is as bad as Godwin's, it's going to be tough sledding for a running back. He'll probably never regain his full motion and explosiveness, but he's Cam Skattebo. Anything's possible. Don't cut him or anything. Derrick Henry rushed 21 times for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2 of the top 4 buy lows for the week. Saquon Barkley.
Stock on the rise.
Derrick Henry.
Stock on the rise.
I smell meatloaf. Hey, Ma, the meatloaf. 2 touchdowns for the boy known as King Henry. And he just continues to churn out those tutties. And he looked good on that cutback second touchdown. Looked spry. I'm telling you, those of you that listened to me all week long, all week prior to that, to go get this man in a 2-for-1 where you divide and conquer one player into 2 players, one being Derrick Henry or one being Saquon, you might be in really, really good shape moving forward. And they want to run the hell out of the ball. And with Lamar back next game, this is going to be a potential Derrick Henry feast move forward as they try and ease Lamar back. Breece Hall. How tall is he? How tall is the Breece? The Breece, 18 totes, 133, 2 touchdowns, but he was not done on said day in week 8. Breece Hall, you're so magnificently tall. You not only throw the ball, but you run the ball twice, and you do it live. And Breece, we've got something for you, pal. We got something for you.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece.
Get Breece.
Breece was remarkable in this game. Threw for a touchdown. ran for 2 touchdowns. The touchdown toss was magnificently placed too, and just looked really, really good in this contest. Breece Hall, value up. I don't know what this means. It's almost like did he screw himself because he played so well that the Jets aren't going to get rid of him now? I don't know. You know, it's hard to say, but if they're going to trade him, he just threw his trade value through the roof. So if the right offer came in, the Jets might still entertain it, but damn, Breece Hall might have just got paid no matter what with this outing. This guy's just a remarkable player. You know who else is remarkable is this Woody Marks character we've been talking about for months and months, and finally getting his opportunity last week, catches a touchdown from a hospital ball, kind of rung up, bell rung. Looked like he might have got hurt. We were all upset. We're like, did they just hurt him? Did they just throw a hospital ball to my Woody? Is my Woody ever going to rise again? But Woody rose today. Woody rose like a skyscraper. 11 totes, 62 yards in a Week 8 loss against the 49ers. Week 8 loss? What in the hell's going on here? You mean win? What are they doing lately with these write-ups? Adding 4 catches for 49 yards on 4 targets. Woody, drop some wood in the chat for the victor. The guy that's taken over the backfield in Houston. The guy that is on the rise. His name is Woody Marks, and he does it live.
I smell meatloaf. Hey, Ma, the meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
My boy Woody. Woody's doing it well. Harold Fannin, undisclosed injury, but it doesn't appear to be anywhere right now that of any sort of concern. I don't know if that could change. It certainly could. Right now he's the undisclosed injury, but it might be a concussion. It might be that he just had some sort of strain. I don't know. We'll find out. But Harold Fannin Jr. is turning into the player that we predicted him to be. He's a wide receiver. This guy was the leading reception getter and yardage getter in college last year. If you throw all the wide receivers, Hunter, Jeremiah Smith, Ted McMillan, everyone, all the wide receivers and tight ends together, he was number 1 in the nation in yards, number 1 in the nation in receptions. And I think he was tied for, I want to say 10 or 12 for touchdowns. He almost had the hat trick. And this is a receiving monster. He had 6 receptions on 8 targets, 62 yards and a touchdown. This is even with Njoku back, and Njoku even caught a touchdown. They run this guy as a wide receiver. He was the leading wide receiver on the team, and Shadour's probably coming to save the day. Now, do we know how Shadour and him will be rapport-wise? We don't know, but I have a guess, ladies and gentlemen, a real educated guess, that Shadour, who loves to throw short passes and throws them accurately, is going to look for Fannin as a safety blanket. Even though this man runs wide receiver routes, he can run routes all over the field. I think no matter what, he's protected. Let's just hope he's okay. But goodness gracious, Fannin Jr. looks like the part that we've been screaming from the rooftops. Who's this? Oh, this is a Prince. Look at him. Look at this Prince right here. 18, 24, 282, 3 tutties. And the Patriots 32-13 week win over the Browns, adding 6 rushes for 51 yards. Just a remarkable young man. Imagine if he had wide receivers. Imagine if they traded Chris Olave or A.J. Brown or any one of the available wide receivers in the direction of this man. He probably would turn into a king immediately. Right now he's a prince, but he'll turn into a king. All he needs is wide receivers. He's doing what he can with what he's got, and he's doing a remarkable job. And the sky's the limit for this kid. You know when, and I'm not trying to say that he's the next Tom Brady. I'm not saying that. I'm just calm down. But he's in New England. He has big shoes to fill. And it's kind of like when Aaron Rodgers showed up in Green Bay and they said, "Oh, Brett Favre, impossible shoes to fill. It's not going to work. It's just going to be, he's going to be trying to fill these big shoes." And it ended up working. All I'm saying is maybe he never gets the rings. I'm not saying, but maybe this guy becomes an overall better quarterback than really anybody ever anticipated. Well, we know that's going to happen, but this kid could become so good that you look at him differently. You're not looking at him the same. You're not looking at him in terms of the winning and the rings, but as an overall mechanical quarterback. This guy is so good so early. And if you get him weapons, we don't know what his ceiling is going to be. Because this is so early on with no weaponry. With some imbecile coaching, by the way. Imbecile coaching. Complete imbeciles running this thing. Because they don't even know what to do with the running back they invested high draft capital in, who had 70 yards on 10 carries. 10 carries, 70 yards. He did pretty well. 7 yards a pop. Trey Henderson, if you don't know who I'm talking about, looked good. I mean, he looked spry. Looked good. But this guy, Drake Maye, is only going to get better. He's only going to get better every step he takes. Yeah, so we'll see here what's in store for Drake Maye in the coming weeks, but can't wait to see him progress every single step of the way. Josh Allen completed 12 of 19 passes for 163 and a touchdown in a 40-9 Week 8 win against the Panthers. 7 rushing attempts, 2 more additional touchdowns. Cheat code, one of my top 4 buys walking into the remaining part of the season. Josh Allen, Lamar, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, James Cook were the top 5 players, and Ladd McConkey, if you want to use the previous weeks before that. Top 6 buy lows, essentially, walking into the remaining part of the season. All of them are firing on all cylinders, just exploding. Just absolute missiles of glory, just bringing in the fantasy points, churning it out every single attempt. And Josh Allen, no matter what, is just protecting you into massive scoring week in and week out, can carry you single-handedly. Christian McCaffrey had a bad day at the office. The game plan was this very tough Houston rushing defense was going to shut him down, and that they did. The only reason he has any points at all is because of some long catches there at the end of the game. He was looking at like 1 catch, but he has 3 catches, 43 yards, 25 rushing attempts. We'll see what happens, but Shanahan is going to abuse this man and run him into the ground. I don't know that this would be the right week to trade him high if you were to try and get 2 pieces, but you still could attempt it, but you might want to wait until next week and his next contest where he can potentially bounce back. But I mean, he is just walking a very, very thin rope right now where he's going to potentially get injured at any moment. The way the injuries are happening right now, the way the Niners can't keep their guys healthy, the way that it has to do with a bunch of things that no one can explain right now. They're going to do research papers and studies on the 49er injuries and figure out what the culprit is. The only reason why I think CMC's escaping it is because he works out on his own. He stretches on his own. He does a lot of stuff on his own, takes care of his body on his own, so he's got a little bit better chance of, if he can stave off this bilateral chronic Achilles tendonitis from taking out a calf or his Achilles tendon on a very, very long season where he's been abused and worked into the ground by his head coach because his head coach doesn't think. He just runs him out there and abuses him. He was smart today to maybe not overwork him because it wasn't going to do any good. He's just going to run him straight into the ground. Caleb Williams is trying to run the Bears into the ground. This guy's not a good quarterback. He's not a good quarterback. He skates by. This is the luckiest quarterback I've ever seen because he's been winning and he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in now 8 straight quarters, 2 straight games. He has not thrown a touchdown pass in a Ben Johnson offense in 8 straight quarters and 2 straight games. He finds a Dunze because Ben Johnson dials up the plays, but that's the only, I don't even think he knows his name. But Bijan is a better quarterback. When Bijan gets in there, it's going to be a much more efficient passing attack. And I think Dunze's going places that he hasn't gone before with Bijan. But Bijan is the better quarterback. Caleb's so bad. He's so bad. And it makes me want to throw up in my mouth when these announcers say, "Oh, he's down and around the 10-yard line, Steve." Yeah, Bill. This is where the magic happens. Let's see if he can cook and brew up some of that Caleb magic. Yeah, Bill, I've heard about it. Never seen it, but heard about it. Let's keep perpetuating it. Caleb magic. It sounds so magnificent. Bijan's a great fit for Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson knows this. How do I know that Ben Johnson knows? that he knows that I know that he knows that Bijan's better? I'll tell you why. Because he extended him right before week 1 kicked off. Gave him a contract extension. He didn't need to sign into a 2-year deal and lock him up for 1 additional year after this year. He could have kept him on the 1-year deal that Bijan was currently playing on. You don't extend a player right before kickoff of week 1 as a backup quarterback if you're not having some plan B, stuff going through your head. But Bijan was a monster. Can we talk about RJ Harvey real quickly before we move on? Because I have a lot of you asking about it, and I don't blame you one single bit for wanting to talk about RJ Harvey, who had a day. The man had a hat trick. The man had a hat trick on the field, live, doing it live. And all I know is Bo Nix continues to thrive. Bo Nix 4 passing touchdowns, 2 to Franklin, 1 to Pat Bryant, 1 to RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey ran 2 touchdowns in, caught a touchdown. Let's throw that on screen just so we can relish in the production that was RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey, as you can see on this screen right here, only 7 carries. RJ Harvey wasn't getting the rock like we would like him to get. 7 carries, 6.6 a carry. 2 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, JK continues to be a thorn in his side. Or you could say Harvey's a thorn in JK's side. 111 yards, 7.4 a pop. The Denver offense is running the ball well. Just imagine if this is all RJ Harvey's backfield. And we got a little Tyler Batty getting like 4 or 5 carries a game. If we're getting the full workload, essentially, Harvey's going to be a top 5 running back. Look at this, 146 yards between the two of them. Not even that many carries. We're talking about less than 25 carries, and these guys are getting 146, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. But this man had a hat trick. He had it right here, 5 yards on the 1 catch for a touchdown. Look remarkable in that. They look at him. They look for him at and around the goal line all the time, which is very promising. And then RJ Harvey, 46 yards, 2 touchdowns, hat trick galore. Bo Nix again, 247 and 4. Looks so good. Bo Nix has a bit of a struggle bus moment during each game, and then people think it's going to flip, and they go, Bo. There's Bo. There's the Bo I know. The interception early on. There's the Bo I know. More like Bo. I saw it in the Patreon. Who was it that said it? Who was it? Speak up. I heard you say more like Bo Picks. Bo INT. Well, Bo seems to throw more touchdowns than he does INTs, and he's kind of a top 5 quarterback. Javonte Williams, only 13 carries, criminal, 41 yards, but 2 touchdowns. George Pickens, 78 yards. We had CeeDee Lamb, 7 for 74. Disappointing for Dak and the boys. 0 touchdowns for Dak Prescott. 0. 2 INTs. Joe Milton walked in and threw a touchdown strike immediately, 58 yards, outscores him in fantasy. I don't know what's in store with Dak. Dak's been great all year. I still like Dak, but Dak was definitely bad in this game. Jamar Chase, let's go to this one real quick. Jamar Chase, 12 of 19, 91 yards in his Week 8 loss against the Jets. Don't like that they're losing. Losing teams that have amazing studs on the teams like JJ in Minnesota, Jamar Chase in Cincinnati, Breece Hall in New York. The thing that concerns me the most about these players is when things start going awry and there's no playoff hopes and somebody gets a little owie. Do they sit out weeks 15, 16? Those are the things that go through my head. So in my mind, as a fantasy football connoisseur, as a content creator, as a man that I am, looking out for my people, I root for bad teams like this to get these wins whenever they can, to squeak them out so that there's some sort of hope at the end of the year. There's some sort of saving face. There's some sort of mathematical chance that makes everybody have to fight, even if it's a 10%, 5% chance of making the playoffs and they're in week 16. At least gives these players a chance to stay out there and not pack it in. That's my only concern for everybody with all these big studs on bad teams. Jalen Hurts, look, credit where credit's due. I said this the previous week. Jalen Hurts has found his ability to throw again, and he looks really, really good. It is what it is. He had 4 touchdown passes. Now, he's still not throwing for massive amounts of yards, but he's a good field general, and he's getting his accuracy back, and the play calling has been a lot better too for him. Look, 179 to 4 touchdowns. How can you complain about that from Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts dropping wads all over the field. This was a fantastic outing for Jalen. He gets some meatloaf too.
I smell meatloaf. Hey, Ma, the meatloaf.
Good for Jalen. Good for Jalen. Looks good. Trevion Henderson, again, 10 carries, 77 yards. Did have a fumble. He's never fumbled before since high school. He didn't fumble one time in all of college for 4 years. Not one time. Fumbled the ball. But we joke around on the Patreon that maybe he needs to fumble in order to get the job. This might be it. This might be it. I don't know. I don't know. This is just, I don't know what to say here other than, you want to cut him? You're the same person that asked me, should you cut Harvey before this week started? You want to cut him? You're probably the same person that asked me the week prior, should I cut Travis Hunter? You do what you want. This guy is a marvelous player that he just needs a chance, and we're seeing Harvey starting to get the chance. We're seeing Hunter now go into not only a chance environment, but the number one wide receiver environment for his team. You do what you want. I'm going to get asked all week, should I drop Trevion Henderson? Should I drop Trevion Henderson? I'm just going to be like, bro, you do what you want, but the answer's a universal no. Rome Odunze, if he had a quarterback, he would have had a touchdown. 7 of 10, 114. No tutties because his quarterback's trash. But Rome had a good day because Ben Johnson let him have a good day. And the biggest disappointment of the day probably going to be Bijan. Not because we're mad at him or disappointed in him, but we're disappointed in his head coach. We're disappointed in his staff. The fact that they, man, it is so crazy. I don't know what else to tell you. This staff, they feel like they're incompetent about half the time. It feels like whenever this team has a good game, it has a very bad game. Week 8 loss against the Dolphins. How do you lose to the Miami Dolphins? How do you let Tua Tagovailoa look like an all-star quarterback? He's out there like a world star, just running around, running for scores, just putting the team on his back. And how do you let this happen? Bijan only getting 9 carries is insane. And if the game script slips away from you, how does the best wide receiver, him and Achane are probably tied for the best wide receiver in the league at the running back position. But how in the hell do you allow him to have merely 3 receptions for 23 yards no matter the game script? Very, very confusing. This is very confusing. Very upsetting. Very strange. Very Smitty disapproved. Very Smitty disapproved.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
How does RJ Harvey, man who's playing second fiddle to JK, score 3 touchdowns, but Bijan Robinson can't outscore Trevion Henderson, who's getting 10 carries for 70 yards? And again, Trevion.
Stalk on the right.
I mean, I loved what I saw to Trevion Henderson. Looked good to me. That's the news for the most part, ladies and gentlemen. I did want to screenshot one other thing real quickly, and then we'll go to the super chats, potentially open up phone calls. We got to try and get some stuff done before this game kicks off. But what game did I want to highlight? I think I want to highlight that Seattle game and just throw that up here. So what I was going to discuss was Achane, who looked really, really good in this game in spots. 5 for 24 and a receiving touchdown, and then he had 67 yards running, but that was only 3.7 a pop. Really, 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 really love Achane. He just continues to deliver. I wonder if he gets traded. I wonder if he doesn't get traded. I wonder what happens if he gets traded. I wonder what happens if he doesn't get traded. There's a lot of reasons to think that this could go good or bad for Achane. And I think maybe we do want to pause and say that he continues to produce in his current environment. And sometimes you regret what you wish for. Where would he go? Would it be KC? And would Andy Reid say, you know what? we'll ease him in to a very complex playbook, and in a couple weeks he'll probably be getting more work and more work and more work. Like, so all I'm saying is we keep wishing upon a star that he gets traded, but I don't know. This is just one of those situations where he jives very well, and I think, you know, having this monster win maybe instills confidence enough to let this coaching staff play it out longer, maybe all the way to the end, then they fire him. But, you know, what we know is it's working. So I don't know that I want him necessarily moved. Now, the Commanders would be interesting. There's a lot of places that would be interesting, but I would want it to be somewhere where he could absolutely, you know, no matter what, get fed. And he's such a special player. He gets, you know, work in a special way. So kind of just don't know what to think with that. All right, let's break down the super chats, get into the thick of it, and then we'll move on to potentially phone calls. We got Flea Nice with the $20 hauler. We've got Husseini with the $20 hauler. Oh, what did he say here? Damn it! I don't want to see this. I benched Harvey and Woody over Judkins and White. You couldn't have known that, though, Husseini. You're not sitting Judkins. Don't beat yourself up over that. Rashad White was also a safer play. So don't beat yourself up over that. That's not, you can't get all mad. Smitty, I need a miracle by Rice and Boswell to pull it off. Currently 78 points and got Rice and Boswell left to play. Opponent has 100. He's got JCM and the Chiefs D. It could happen, bro. That could happen. But Husseini, thank you for the $20 hauler. And the dilemma you're saying here is not your fault.
Alert. Super chat alert.
You know, that I think everybody in the chat's going to tell you, bro, you couldn't have known that. You couldn't have known Judkins was going to get hurt. Judkins just had a mother freaking hat trick, bro. Like, you can't beat yourself up over that. We got another $20 hauler from Flea Nice.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Flea Nice, appreciate you. Highest scoring team again. Utter domination again for my squad. Woody, Harvey, Flacco, Jamar Chase, Pitts, Fannin. Let's go. P.S. Adams and Sharps on a bye. Look, Flea Nice, your team, this is a very strange team. Flea Nice has been rolling with the zero running backs, almost like a negative running back approach. And they keep delivering. I mean, Woody and Harvey, how could you ask for a craftier running back 1 and 2? And he keeps doing it with these wide receivers. He keeps coming in and dropping these $20 celebration super chats. And I absolutely can't stop him. He just does it without asking at all. No one's given this man permission to continue to come in and gloat his super chat glory. But we're not going to stop him. Flea Nice, congratulations on that. Marvelous architecture of a team that you keep concocting over there week in and week out. Tyrone Tracy to the moon. He's definitely going to be on the waiver wire. I don't know if I'd say to the moon, my guy. Sampson and Tracy will both be on the waiver wire list for tonight. So make sure you join us for the waiver wire video. It's right after the end of the Sunday night game. 0.5 PPR need a Hail Mary, 12 points projected, Golden or JCM. Chad, are we going JCM or Golden if we need a swing? I think I'd go Golden. I don't think JCM he's capable of a touchdown and 40 yards. I don't know. I mean, anything can happen. I'll be the first one to celebrate if JCM gets unlocked. But I feel like Golden's probably a little safer bet. Higher risk maybe, but safer bet to get you that like long touchdown. Didn't watch the game. How was Hendy? Garbage points? No, he looked great. He played in the very beginning of the game. He had 2 carries for like 30-something yards. He's ripping off 15 yards a carry very early on in the game. The fumble happened at the very end. He was very good. He had 10 carries for 70 yards spread out evenly throughout the game, essentially. They used him. It was not any sort of garbage run. This is why we play fantasy football. I'm down 44 with Mahomes and Rice tomorrow night. Also, I traded Jettas for Cook last week. Feels pretty good. Man, I mean, look.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I mean, you got to be flying high right now. The guy that gave you James Cook right now is probably punching the wall or headbutting the wall right now. Congratulations on that, my guy. Traded Cooks, Tet for Amon-Ra, Judkins, and Breece. Was feeling good before the Judkins injury. Look, Breece Hall exploded. Amon-Ra's amazing. At the end of the day, even with what Cook did, you still got a great side of this thing even if, let's say, for some reason Judkins was out for the year, knock on wood, you have Breece Hall playing well. You have an Amon-Ra. He's got just cooking in a good Ted McMillan is contingent upon that up and down passing attack. That it'll be hard for him to deliver what he did today, 90 yards, something like that, because he's been getting low yardage. Bro, don't worry about it. You made a trade before. You can't second guess it, and it could still work out as long as Judkins is healthy, and even not, it will be close. Took a chance, played Harvey, says Frank, with Gibbs on a bye, only down 13 points. Rice Craft to play. Nice job. I would love to be you versus him. I'll tell you that right now. BBQ dropping a wad. BBQ, my boy. An injury-plagued year. Never dropped talent like Harvey or Hendy. They're on good teams with the top 5 QBs, and now is when rookies start to ball out. Couldn't say it better myself. Same thing goes for Hendy, for people wanting to drop Hendy. Bo Nix has played remarkable. Bo Nix is just, man, I'll admit there's times every game where you start to wonder if is this where it's turning, and then he just comes back and does it again. Bo Nix is he's so exciting to watch play. He's still learning too. He's still learning. Remember that he's a sophomore. He's still learning to read defenses, and he's in the perfect offense. And sometimes he's a wild man and he makes a wild decision, but some of those wild decisions are why he's such a good player. So Bo Nix to the moon, one of our breakout QBs. He's been doing it and doing it well all year long. I think he's number 4 or number 5 right now, if you were to calculate all the scoring. Last week, traded DK Kyron for JJ and Breece Hall. Congratulations on that one.
You've just been...
I mean, come on, man. That's fantastic, bro. Breece Hall just looked 8 feet tall. He looked about 8'2", to be honest. Hendy still garbage, says Rogers. Okay, Rogers. Go cut him then. Go cut him and show us the receipt. Harvey just looked phenomenal on that run, by the way. That little hesitation, the little hezzy. Ball tried to get ripped out of his hand. He said no on that next play. Just watching Harvey was so phenomenal. And the whole Denver rushing attack was good. Even these plays of J.K. Dobbins are just wide open lanes. These cutbacks are nice. The rushing lanes are there. Denver knows how to block downfield for the running backs. It's just such an exciting team to watch. Denver's definitely Casey and Denver, my AFC pick for a Super Bowl contender. I think very, very much alive for Casey and Denver being the 2 top teams. And my NFC side, very disappointed I didn't pick 2. I just went balls to the wall. Commanders. I wish I would have picked another team like the Lions or the Eagles or somebody. But I mean, you can't get it right. I've got it 2 years in a row picking the 2 teams that will show in the Super Bowl, and I do it in August or right before September. Week 1 kicks off, and I don't think I'm going to get it this year. I do not think the Commanders have it in them with JD5 out again. Who knows if they win this game and JD5 comes back, could they march back? It's certainly possible, but right now it does not feel good. It does not feel good for the Commanders. But I love the AFC side of things, and Bo Nix and the Broncos looking fantastic. The Chiefs and Mahomes looking fantastic. I do believe one of those 2 teams has a great shot, maybe 80% chance that one of those 2 teams is in at least the championship game, if not both of them in it together. Colts Nation domination. Yes, Matt, they continue to do it. JT's balling out. Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, such a fun guy to root for, to be honest. And they don't even have the wide receiver weapons, really. They're kind of like the Patriots. They keep doing it. They keep doing it and doing it live. Ron says, I still don't believe in the Colts. What did I just say, Ron? Don't know how much more clear I can be. It's just such a fun team to root for. All right, Bijan, where art thou, Bijan? No idea, bro. No idea. Have not a clue. Baker hasn't been in his bag bacon. Missing on Adunze a ton. I saw a bunch of ridiculous nonsense. People were embarrassing themselves in the early pre-chat of this live stream, saying that Buka's cooked and Buka's not going to be that guy. I know it's just 1 or 2 trolls, but it wasn't Buka's fault. Buka wasn't targeted right. The ball was thrown behind him. The ball was thrown in contested ways instead of throwing it into places where he can get it, like Baker did so early. You know, I truly wish we could have seen Baker get back into his bag. I still believe in Baker. He's still a dog. I think he's been in a little bit of a rut. It happens. Start Milton from here on out, Smitty. I don't think that the Dallas Cowboys are there. Wouldn't that be interesting if Jerry started talking shoutout? Jerry's capable of anything, but no, Milton's an intriguing. Like if they struggle, if let's say Dak struggled for 2 more games, or he had the worst game of his life, who knows what could happen? Truly, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. Flex spot, JCM, Fryer Truck, or Jonnu Smith, I assume you're saying. So Jonnu Smith, Freiermuth, or JCM. I don't know. One of the tight ends could be safest, but JCM would be higher risk for 0 to 2 points, but maybe a chance at 15 to 18 points if JCM were to break off a big run. If that's Brashard Smith, is that Brashard? If it's Brashard Smith, I'd rather have Brashard Smith. But it's also higher risk. Freiermuth might be the safest play, like 8 points, touchdown, 20 yards, you know, or 5 for 60, or 45 yards and 5 catches, something like that. But Brashard Smith, I would probably rather start him and take a little gamble. But BBQ, it could definitely be a big swing and miss. JCM might be the combination of high risk, high reward. Brashard Smith's and even more extreme risk, high risk, high reward. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call. Chat, vote on that. Brashard Smith, JCM, or Freiermuth. I think most people are going to say JCM because they got him in their lineup. So I don't know if you're going to get a real honest appraisal of that, because so many people are like, I got to have him do something tonight. JCM. JCM's the pick. That's the ticket. We keep waiting on JCM over and over and over. And unfortunately, they just don't. I don't know. I'm hoping that they continue to feed him. I'd say this is what I'd say. JCM, if you're not needing 10,000 points to win the game, if so, Brashard Smith is kind of a swing. I would say JCM's the perfect mix between Freiermuth and Brashard Smith. Gives you some upside. Gives you probably a 5 to 7 point floor, I would think. I can't imagine JCM wouldn't have 5 to 7 points. Brashard Smith could get you 0 or 15. Freiermuth could get you 5 to 12. So I guess I'm talking myself into a safe JCM start, I suppose. It still has more upside than Freiermuth. But any one of those 3 could outscore the other easily. Still wouldn't sell Igbokwe. Why would somebody sell Igbokwe? Is anybody thinking Igbokwe is going to drop off? That person doesn't know ball. Like, don't listen to that. Tyler Warren and Brian Robinson for Jonathan Taylor and Rashee Rice last Wednesday. Yeah, it's good. Dak just had a bad week against a legit defense. Yeah, I don't think, that's why I said I don't think they're going to sit him. I mean, Jerry's a wild man. Just a wild man. So you don't really know. Smitty, thanks for the Derrick Henry. Let's see what this says. Smitty, thanks for the Derrick Henry advice. Feeling amazing about him after trading JCM from a few weeks ago. Attaboy. It was so easy to get Derrick Henry. I think anybody that sat on that, because it was easy. It was like taking candy from a baby. Anybody that sat on that missed a real opportunity. Just a real opportunity to just get a potential stud. At least a low-end running back 1. Raul says, "Get your Gunners." That's right. Link in the
the Gunnar Player of the Week.
Brought to you by Gunnar.com.
Link is in the description. Let me drop the link in the live chat as well. Yeah, our Gunnar Player of the Week, Rashi Rice, baby. Do it live. Let me drop that right here. Gunnar Player of the Week. Get your Gunnars. Get your Gunnars. And then here's the link right there. So, guys, get your pair of Gunnar glasses. Let me switch my Gunnars out. These are blue light blocking glasses. Your boy switches them whenever we play the Gunnar Player of the Week. These are the clicks that I love. Let's put the Fallout on. Fallout are amazing. Love these as well. All right, this game is about ready to start. Let's hit these last couple of super chats. Thank you, Raul. Appreciate you. Someone offered me Nico, Otten, and Flacco for Ladd, Tyler Warren, and Dart. Nico, Otten, and Flacco for Ladd, Tyler Warren, and Dart. I don't know. I mean, Alan, are you starting this quarterback? I mean, Flacco's looking pretty good, but are you starting this quarterback? Because Flacco's hard to trust to stay healthy, at an older age. I would probably say I lean toward the Nico side just a hair. But I love Tyler Warren. I love Ladd McConkey, but I think I'd probably take that other side. But it's really close. Chat might be torn on that one. 800 of you here from YouTube. About 200 to 300 from Twitter. Please subscribe over on the YouTube channel if you're from X. And then make sure you like and subscribe if you're new here. This channel goes live after the morning and afternoon slate of games. Every Sunday we go live after the Sunday night game. We go live before all the games start. So 3 live streams on Sundays minimum. We go live whenever big news breaks. I go live at 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So we're not only live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're live additionally whenever big news breaks. We're live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. This is your one-stop shop. This is your one-stop shop. Traded Pickens for Breece. Feeling good, says Supra, as you should. As you should. Continue feeling good, kind sir. Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Yeah, I'm torn on that Ladd and Warren trade too. I see a couple of you saying you like that side. Some of you are saying you like the Ladd and Warren side. I could get behind either one, honestly. They're both very, very close. This one right here, I don't know. Like Nico, I know Nico hasn't been quite the same. I think he's had the 3 touchdowns, but Stroud looked a little better today, obviously, and so there's a little hope that Nico could get back on his horse, but he's also injury prone. So if we think Ladd's going to continue, and I think very strongly that Ladd could, obviously, he's one of my best buy low players of the freaking year. I love Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's my tight end 1. I could get behind the Ladd side. Oh, you're not starting this. So who are you starting, Alan? Because part of me is concerned about this starting quarterback situation. If we're just let's throw the quarterbacks out. Let's take Flacco and Dart out, and that's not a consideration of your starter. So Nico and Otten for Ladd and Tyler Warren. Ladd and Warren. And Flacco and Dart are hard to trust. So if you're not starting either one, then it makes it a little easier. Yeah, I'll change my vote there. I'll go Tyler Warren Ladd. I agree with the chat. Chat's right. $20 hauler here from
Alert.
Morgan.
Super chat alert.
My boy, doing it live. Doing it live. What is this question here? I'm sorry, I don't mean to call this out. I thought I saw like somebody trying to like be funny here. If I sell Ibuka, do you think cook for him straight up as possible? Bro, you can't go get someone that runs for 200 yards and a couple tutties the week after they do it using a player that does nothing. What are you talking about, bro? You can't get it unless you got a time machine. There's no way you're going to get someone to sell JT or Cook off a big game or Breece Hall low tomorrow morning. Think I could buy Breece Hall low tomorrow? No 84 GOAT. I don't think you're getting a sit down with this owner to even discuss this bad trade offer. And if I got this offer, and I love Buka, but you can't what are we doing? What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get.
You are offer sex. You are made offer sex.
It's not that I don't love Buka, but what in the hell you think you're going to do? Highest scoring team with JSN and McBride on a bye. Maye, Taylor, Harvey, Waddle, Flowers, Gadsden still have Rice to go, waiting for Bucky to get back. Had traded Scat and Daniel Jones for Flowers and Bucky. Picked up Tracy before the games. Love it, bro. Love it. Congrats. Again, condolences to all that have Skattebo. It really is a tough pill to swallow. Didn't it feel like it was too good to be true in some ways? The way the guy plays. I'm not saying that specific injury was because he's a wild man, but it was just like, we loved him, and God, we wanted this wave to never crash. And unfortunately, it crashed really hard, and his ankle was probably never going to be the same. We'll see. I mean, maybe we have great news tomorrow or the next day, whenever the news comes out. Might be Monday. But this is a bad injury. This is a bad injury. K for life. He's not just out for the season, bro. His career is in jeopardy. Of course he's out for the season. But we've already covered that, KL. You're a little late to the party. But he's out for the year, of course. But this is a devastating injury. This is you don't really come back from this full strength. Unless he escapes nerve and ligament damage, which I can't imagine he did, because when your foot's like this and it twists like that, there's not enough slack for those ligaments. Let me show you on the model. It's kind of like in your foot, you've got all these ligaments and tendons that are tight, so that the leg can pull and move in a very tight and compact way, right? If these were loose ligaments, then you wouldn't have any movement in your foot. So they're all fit perfectly and tightly formed, so that you've got this movement that's really, really solid, right? If you take your foot and you twist the foot this way or this way from the tibia and fibula, and not only are you probably breaking this bone here, is what he did, I think, and there's a potential for breaking it here, whenever your leg twists this way or this way. But you have all these ligaments that have the tension built perfectly for the movement here. If you take this leg and turn it here, there's not enough slack, so they tear. That's why there's almost, I can't imagine that if you dislocate your ankle the way he did, that these ligaments are all intact, because they had to uphold in a way they were not designed to, because they were all fit perfectly for his leg. That's why when your knee hyperextends, people say, well, maybe he's okay. Maybe. But when your knee bends like this MCL right here, this is your LCL, your MCL. When your knee goes like this, you can see this stretching. It's only designed to be tight right there. Your ACL is designed to be tight to hold the joint. So when you go like this, you snap it, because it runs out of leeway. So there's probably very little chance we ever see Cam Skattebo have a long career. Arthritis will set in. It's going to be bad. He's a younger player than the average player dealing with this, but this is not somebody that's going to come back and have like a 6-year, 7-year, 8-year career. He'll have early onset arthritis and all kinds of issues with the ankle and foot, and compensation injuries and all kinds of things. So I don't know. Game's about to kick off. Appreciate all the super chats that have flowed in like wine tonight. You guys are unbelievable. Nobody go sell Buka low. Nobody sell Buka low. Nobody go out and sell or cut Hendy the same people cutting Hendy right now are talking about it. They're just embarrassing themselves. Anyway, anything else? I'll see you all after the games. Appreciate all 645 of you in here from YouTube. Appreciate the rest of you on Twitter. Make sure you get over to the YouTube channel and subscribe.
Hit that subscribe button if you're new and wipe your feet at the door.
And what video should we play on the way out the door, ladies and gentlemen? I'm kind of feeling a little Breece Hall action, if you will. Just a little itty bitty Breece Hall. We also have some Chase Brown activity. You know, a lot of people ask me to perform miracles on this channel. Smitty, make something amazing happen. And I say, you know what? I can. Watch this. Watch this right here. I'll take this and boom. And then out of nowhere, zoom in on this bad boy. Zoom in on that.
They laughed when we said he was about to be an unstoppable force for all to see. With Chase Brown, get up, get down with Chase Brown.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a hell of a job. A hell of a job. A hell of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
Drop a bat emoji if you want to play the scat short version one more time for OG sake, as you're saying. If anybody wants it, throw a bat emoji in the live chat. We'll do it. Might not be playing it ever again. I mean, that's just such a disheartening injury. Man.
What is that smell? Someone needs me.
Help! Help! I'm going to lose my fantasy week! Somebody help! Call the Scat Man!
I am Scatman.
Who needs my help?
Wow. Bang, bang, boom. To the moon. Now it's time to go pick up your mother.
Now he's got a lot of extra time to go visit all your mothers. Man. All right, I'll see you all after the game for the waiver wire show. Appreciate every single one of you. Rise Above says Chase Brown exploded for me and Breece Hall. Rise Above absolutely rose above today. Congrats on that. Guys, don't forget to get into the Patreon where we're talking 24/7, 365. Here's that link right now for the Patreon. The Patreon is where we all hang out. We all hang out. And especially during games, we're all inside this game day lounge, like play by play. The whole game, it's crazy in there. So if you're working, let's say, and you can't watch the games, you just get into the game day lounge and just read it. You'll know exactly what's going on. I'll see you all after the game for the wrap-up show of this Green Bay Pittsburgh game, which is kicked off. There's Aaron Rodgers handing the ball off to not Aaron Rodgers, sorry, Jordan Love handing the ball off to Jacobs. You like that? You like that Freudian slip there? Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be interesting, Aaron Rodgers against his former team. You know he loves the Packers more than he loves the Steelers. So, I don't know. We better watch this one. All right, I'll see you all after the game. Waiver wire show after the game. Deuce.